About the part-time students, so those students, particularly international applicants who are residing in Singapore and working in Singapore, and they hold some work pass or employment pass, some kind of pass, they are eligible for part-time students. And the Singapore citizens and the residents, like permanent residents, so they can also try. So basically, they need to hold some valid pass or residency status to stay in Singapore to pursue part-time study. Otherwise, you can opt for full-time study where, okay, at the admission, etc., you'll be issued a student pass to enter and study in NUS. About our department, so our department, as I mentioned earlier, is Electrical and Computer Engineering Department. Okay, so which offers actually, I can say that it's, I mean, there are some diversified areas. So there are seven different areas which come under our department. See, for example, communication and networks, which focus more on the subject topics or courseworks as well as research in the areas of communications and networks. Similarly, we have areas like control, intelligent systems and robotics, integrated circuits and embedded systems, microelectronic technologies and devices, microwave and radio frequency, power and energy systems, signal analysis, and machine intelligence. So what I'm trying to say is that, so electrical engineering or computer engineering, electrical and computer engineering is a broad area. So we offer the courses and research, okay, in both in breadth and depth. Okay, so these are all 7 different areas. Of course, there are some overlapping, okay, there are some interdisciplinary aspects between these areas, but as such, they have their own set of courses or subjects or modules to be offered. And about the program structure of the computer engineering program, we offer lecture modules and some optional project modules. So when we say lecture modules, it's a typical module where you attend the lectures and there will be some continuous assessment, okay, some quizzes or the projects or presentations. And then finally, there will be some final examination. Each will carry some weightage. And in addition to that, the student can opt to do projects. So this project can be equivalent to one subject or one module or 2 modules. It can span a semester or 1 year, that means 2 semesters. And if you are interested to carry out some projects in a particular area, so you can approach the relevant faculty members who are working in that area and talk to them, and you can take up some project with those supervisors. Okay? And this will help you to develop more practical and research skills in that particular topic beyond what you study in the classes. Okay. Each module, when you say module, it's subject. Okay, different countries may use different terminology. So we call it as module. Module means one subject. So each subject carries certain credits. We call them as modular credit. Typically, our graduate modules, they have 4 modular credits. If a student wants to complete the program, he has to complete 10 different graduate modules within the maximum candidature. Maximum candidature means how long you can study this program. Okay, there's no fixed time period, but there's a maximum time period within which you should complete the program. That means you should accumulate 40 MCs. You should earn the 40 MC credits, and you also should show some minimum academic performance. So that slightly we will discuss later. Yeah, slightly later. And the program, if you look at the program, okay, so there will be lectures during the lecture weeks, and at the end of the semester, there will be an examination, and we have 2 semesters. One begins in August, and the second semester begins in January. The medium of instructions for all the courses is English. That means every subject is taught in English, and also you'll be writing exam assignments, assessment, everything in English. The lectures are usually conducted on weekdays, but in the evening time from 6 to 9 p.m. This is to just to facilitate or help the part-time students or working people who can also, lectures are recorded, though it is not compulsory. So this will be helping you to review your lecture material later. As far as the examination is concerned, the end of the semester, there will be examinations, which are usually conducted from Monday to Saturday, excluding usually this Sunday and public holidays are excluded. Now, you may be interested to know, okay, the candidature period and the typical workload. As I said, the candidature period means, okay, maximum how many semesters or how many years you can carry out your study. For full-time study, the maximum candidature period is 4 semesters or 2 years. So a full-time student should complete the coursework. That means he should complete 40 MCs worth of modules. Then he should also get some minimum academic performance. Then you will pass or graduate. But that has to be done within 2 years. Whereas for part-time students, it is 4 years or 8 semesters. Because part-time students are working professionals, there are some restrictions on how many subjects they can do in every semester. In other words, full-time students can do more subjects in a given semester than part-time students. If you look at the table below, this typically shows the recommended workload. The maximum workload, this is compulsory. I don't say it's recommended, it should be. Maximum means it's maximum, you cannot exceed that. For part-time students, it's 12 MCs. That means they can do 3 subjects or 3 modules in a given semester. But full-time students, workload can be maximum 20 MCs. That means they can study 5 modules in a given semester. So this implies what? If a student is interested to complete the entire coursework in 2 semesters, he or she should be able to do, because he can do 5 modules in one semester and another 5 modules in the second semester, they can complete it. But based on the past historical data and statistics, we can say that typically a part-time student will be doing 2 modules or 8 MCs worth of modules, and full-time student will be doing typically, let's say 3 to 4 modules per semester. Of course, the minimum workload should be 1 module, that is 4 MCs. And as far as the degree requirement is concerned, you the student should pass 10 modules. That means he should earn 40 MCs. That includes 2 compulsory or core modules and 8 other modules. Maybe let's call them as selective modules. That means you need to do 10. Out of 10, 2 should be compulsory modules. So we have 2 different baskets of modules. So you need to do minimum 2 from the core basket, and the remaining 8 can be anywhere. And if you have opted for specialization, there will be a separate specialization requirements. Something like you need to do 5 modules from a specialization track, because for every specialization we have a list of modules. So from there you should do 5. That means the maximum is 10. Out of this 10, 5 should be from that specialization track or list of modules. So if you meet those conditions, you will be graduating with at particular specialization. Again, the specialization is optional. If you don't want any specialization, you want to do many modules across multiple specializations, okay, to acquire skill on multiple specializations, should be fine. You can just get the degree without any specialization. And in terms of academic performance, every subject or module, okay, at the end of the semester, okay, your performance will be assessed. You will be given some grades A, B, C, D, etc. Accordingly, some grade points are given. I'm not going into more specific details of how the grade points are assigned, etc. But let's say the highest side, A grade A means 5 points, and the lowest side fail means 0 points. Okay. So on the average, if you take the average, it should be 3.0. That means you should pass 10 modules. At the same time, you should get minimum of 3.0. Then you graduate with a degree. In addition to these conventional or traditional modules, there could be some E modules. Okay, as and when it is required by the university, you may have to complete certain E modules. Okay, so this is see, for example, it could be on plagiarism, okay, or other legal or behavior related modules, etc. These modules are not long modules like 40 hours or 30 hours kind of thing. Okay, so there will be online material. You can go through it, and there will be some online quiz. You should get some minimum score, but they are not part of the grade points. But the university may impose or may ask the students to complete some E modules. As far as specialization is concerned, as I said before, okay, the specialization is not compulsory, but some students may be interested to specialize in one particular track. Okay, so to help them, we offer 3 different specializations. The first one is digitalization and communication technologies. The next, computing hardware infrastructure. Then machine intelligence and applications. These are the three specializations which a student can choose one from these three. And for the specialization, the student should work on a project which is compulsory, which should be tied with that specialization area. Now about admissions, there will be 2 rounds of admissions, 2 cycles in an academic year. Okay, the first round, okay, for first round of applications, the semester will start in August. Okay, then for the second round, the semester will start in January. Okay, that means we admit students for semester 1, which begins in August, as well as we admit students for semester 2, which begins in January. So currently August admission is already over. And for January admission, the application portal will be open in July. I think in third week of July, it will be there about 4 weeks. So if you're interested in January 2023 applications, admissions, so you can consider applying. So you just wait for the application portal to be open in July. And who are eligible? It's a graduate program. So obviously you should have a bachelor's degree and with good academic standing. So we say with honors, etc. So that means you should have a good cap and the class, at least first class or second class upper honors equivalent of that. And there are some English. Okay, in addition to the engineering background, the other disciplines also we consider, for example, computing, applied maths, etc. And there is an English requirement. So if it depends on the country, okay, so if the country's first language or medium of instructions from the school is not English, then we expect the student to complete, okay, the English course, IELTS or TOEFL, and there is some requirement, minimum 6.0 from IELTS or TOEFL 85. So they are required for students from some countries. So if you are interested to get admission, then later we will specifically tell whether it is required or not. And particularly for part-time students, we take into consideration of their experience, the relevant working experience, in addition to the academic performance or academic merit, whether they have relevant skill or knowledge acquired from the industry. So that might help to some extent. And please note that these requirements are minimum requirements that does not automatically guarantee any admission. So it's based on the competition. So if there are many competitive applications, so obviously you'll pick up some top applications. You might be interested to know about the fees. And one interesting thing about the fees is that the fees is the program fees. It's charged based on the program. For the entire program, the fees is fixed. For the next academic year, for 2023, the program fees is $50,000. This excludes the goods and service tax, that is GST, which is currently 7%. There may be small changes in future. Okay, what does it mean? Program-based fees means whether you complete it in 2 semesters or 3 semesters, 4 semesters. Let's say you are a full-time student. Full-time student means minimum 2 semesters you will stay in the system. You will be studying this program. Maximum 2 years, right? That is 4 semesters. So whether you complete the program in 2 semesters, 3 semesters, or 4 semesters, the total fees would be $50,000. Okay, this is for the next academic year. Similarly, if you're a part-time student, then for part-time students, minimum they need to study this for 4 semesters. So if a part-time student completes 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 semesters, the total fees would be the same, $50,000. Of course, the teacher fees could be reviewed yearly basis, but the one which I list here, $50,000, this is for the next academic year, that is academic year 2022. So the fees are quoted in Singapore dollars because sometimes we say S dollar or sometimes dollar, but that refers to Singapore dollar. And again, it is subject to the GST tax, which is currently 7%. Okay. In addition to this, there could be a small miscellaneous student fees semester basis to use the facilities, etc. But that number would be small compared to the total 50K, which would be payable semester basis. And for the local students, particularly Singapore citizens and permanent residents, we offer $10,000 rebate. That means for the next year, the fees would be 40,000, not 50,000. Of course, the GST tax would be there. And this is applicable for both full-time and part-time students. So currently the fee rebate is for 2022, 2023. I mean, those who join in 2022 and 2023, and this would be reviewed periodically. And you would be interested to know about the job prospects or the job opportunities. So there's a good scope for getting job in different sectors like ICT sector, like information communication technology sector, telecommunication sector, electronics sector, transportation, bank and finance, research institutes. That's basically research institutes. They offer job more of research and development in nature. This is kind of in between a pure company job and an academic job. They do more of applied research kind of thing. So R&D job kind of. If you're interested in research and development, you can choose research institutes. Of course, we have multinational companies, enterprises, okay, large enterprise, medium, small enterprises, startup companies, etc., where you should be able to find job. So this table, so which you can also see in our department website. So this shows, okay, the different possible companies, okay, where some opportunities exist, okay. And the list is not complete, okay. There are other companies as well in addition to this, but it's somewhat selective list, okay. So you can see first is MNCs, that is multinational companies. So you can see there are a few multinational companies listed here, even with Apple, Google, IBM, etc. Then telcos, these are some telcos, some popular telcos, aerospace, transportation, then semiconductors, electronics oriented companies, energy based companies. Then there are some government agencies and the financial institutions like the bank and finance sectors. Some students would be interested because when they study the master's program, they acquire some skill, okay, in let's say, for example, analytical techniques, optimization techniques, machine learning, AI techniques, etc. So some students are interested to join some financial institution as well. There are R&D job opportunities, as I said before in the previous slide, the research institutes. So the A-star research institutes, DSO, DSTA. So there are R&D opportunities in various institutes which are publicly funded, which are public funded. Then there are several startup companies. We'll just list a few. But what is important is that there are startup companies which also offer jobs which we can try. So thank you. So this is the end of my presentation. I thank everyone on behalf of the management team of graduate programs at the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering at NUS. So thank you. And now this is time for Q&A. Please feel free to ask your questions and doubts, if any. You can unmute your mic and you can speak. Of course, you can also send your questions through chat. There are few chat messages. The first question is, are the cost charged based on the number of modules we take in the semester? If we take more modules in the semester, will we be charged more? Vice versa. No, it's not like that. The total is $50,000. See, for example, if you are a full-time student, okay, so minimum is 2 semesters, correct? You should be able to complete in minimum 2 semesters. So you'll be paying that $50,000, let's say 2 installments, 25,000 and 25,000, irrespective of the number of modules. If you cannot complete the 10 modules, okay, within 2 semesters, you will continue to third semester or fourth semester, but you will not be paying any tuition fees because you already paid the tuition fees in the first 2 semesters. Similarly, part-time students, so minimum they will be studying 4 semesters. So the tuition fee of $50,000 will be split into 4 installments in the first 4 semesters. Whether they do 1 subject, 2 subjects, or 3 subjects per semester, they will pay the installments and complete it initially. So still, if you have not completed the coursework, you will continue to the next semesters, but you will not be paying any additional fees. There is a question like, what are the main differences between this program and Master of Computing? Okay, I don't want to comment much on the other program. Okay, as the name says, that is Master of Computing is more on computing aspects. And Master of Engineering is, the focus is on engineering aspects where, okay, You can see engineering, both hardware and software engineering. Okay, so that would be the focus. Maybe later you can visit our websites to look at their kind of subjects courses we offer. Okay, because I think the pure computing, there may be more science oriented, computer science oriented subjects, but those subjects will be missing in the computer engineering program. So you can see the difference. So computer engineering is more applied towards engineering systems. Computing may be more focusing on the basic fundamental computing, some theory and some applications. So I would suggest you to look into our websites and compare the courses, etc. That's a question. What courses would be interested in machine? What is an MIA program? Machine intelligence, is it? I think you are trying to ask about machine intelligence. Okay, so machine intelligence is more like applied some, let's say, AI, ML, okay, applied with respect to some systems like even robotics, pattern recognition, etc. Next, is it possible to do these thesis under the coursework program? Are there any provision to switch from coursework to research-based master's program? If you're interested in research-based master's program, I would suggest you directly apply to research-based master's program. But sometimes you may not be clear. Okay, you may want to do coursework first before jumping into research. Yes, you can join courses, MSc coursework program. And there is an opportunity to do project. We call it as project. It's not a research thesis, it's a project, because the project may have, there's a different nature of projects. Some may be experiment-based projects, some may be a theoretical projects, some may be more on the R&D research and applied kind of projects. So as I said before, if you're keen to carry out the project, okay, in a particular area you want to specialize, then you can approach the faculty members who are working in that particular field. And it's a good opportunity for you to work with the professor more closely on the project. And the professor may also have his own research team or research staff and research students, other project students. So you can work, you can have a good experience in the team. Okay, so you'll know more about the supervisor's research intestines works, and the supervisor also will have an opportunity to know more about you. Okay, so if you develop interest into research program when you are doing masters, yes, you can do so. But generally after MSc, students will apply for PhD level research. And if you have already acquired some knowledge, research skill from the MSc program by way of projects and other things, you can continue that. That will help you. And at the same time, some subjects which you have already completed as part of master's program, you can transfer to PhD program. Let's say PhD program requires you to do 6 modules. I'm not going into the details what type of modules are required, but some modules which you have already completed as part of MSc, you can count it towards your PhD course requirement. There is a question, is there any chance to choose specialization when you enter? Yes, that is possible. In the beginning of every semester, even in the application stage itself, you can indicate your preference, okay? And in the beginning of every semester, you can choose the specialization. Sometimes the students choose the specialization, for example, in semester 1, but later they change their mind, okay? So they may want to change the specialization, or they may want to discontinue from the specialization. That is possible when they go to the next semester. That means the beginning of every semester, you are given a chance to retain the specialization, or to opt for a new specialization, or to opt out from the specialization. For the computer engineering project modules, what are the differences between the minor 1, minor 2, and 8MC's project module? Okay, that's good. So there are basically 2 types of project modules. Okay, one type is you will be doing a project which will be completed in 1 semester. So it's a short project. Okay, if the project is completed within a semester, which you will be evaluated at the end of the semester, then it's a minor. It's a small project. Okay, you'll be working for only 1 semester. That is, if you start in August, by December you will finish that project. Okay? You can do two such small projects in sequence. First time when you do a 1 semester project, we call it as minor 1. If you want to do second time, again it's optional. That will be called minor 2. You cannot directly do minor 2. Okay. In addition to that, if you want to do one project over 1 year, that is 2 semesters continuously, that is you start in August, you want to continue until the month of April next year, April or May next year, then it's comprised of 2 semesters, right? So that is called project module. That's all. So that carries 8 MCs, and the minor project or small project that carries 4 MC. It depends. Can one apply for more than one program? Yes, you can apply for more than one MSc program, but at some stage you need to make a decision. You can get offer for both also, should be fine. Are there any minimum undergraduate GPA requirement? There are, okay, we expect good standing, but it depends on the university. Some universities, they have out of 5. Some universities, the GPA is out of 4, etc. At least if it's equivalent to second class upper or first class kind of thing, that's better. Again, the meaning of first class will differ country to country. Okay, but you try your best, right? It's very difficult to quantify at this stage. Can we change from general track to specialization or vice versa in the mid of the study? Yes, it is possible, but you should indicate it in the during the registration of the modules in the beginning of each semester. In the middle of the semester, you cannot change. As I said before, okay, see, for example, semester 1 begins, you can opt for an specialization. Semester 2 begins, you can change your specialization, or you can opt out of specialization. That means you'll be under general track. That is possible. If I'm going in May and want to apply for August, can I submit it in January? Yes, that's a good question. If you want to, let's say you are in the final year of study, you want to apply for August, okay, at the time of application, you might not have completed your all semesters, correct? So let's say your undergraduate studies for 8 semesters. If you have completed 7 semesters, 6 semesters, for example, you can apply, no problem. But before you join the program, you should have completed it. You should have passed it. That's important. I hope it's clear, right? If
Prof.
you're
Mohan,
yes.
maybe you want to highlight on the project when it comes to when if student decide to change specialization in in second half of the year, so it may affect them.
Okay, so one thing I want to highlight is for the specialization, if you want to specialize in computer engineering on a particular track, okay, project component is compulsory. So if you want to change the specialization, you need to make sure that, okay, the project module, okay, which you are doing or completed is relevant to that specialization. That is important. Okay, so sometimes a project module may be relevant to more than one specialization. Then maybe some little flexibility is there. But if the project topic is very tightly coupled with that particular specialization, if you want to change later, then you cannot count that project module for that specialization. So there is a question like, can we choose supervisors from School of Computing for doing projects? It's possible, but that should be one supervisor, main supervisor from our department. So you can have 2 supervisors, one from our department, maybe one from another department. That is possible, but you cannot have just one supervisor from other department. I mean, to emphasize again, you can have more than one supervisor, but one supervisor must be from our department. The other supervisor can be from other department, like School of Computing or Mechanical Engineering, should be okay. So there is a question of professors and lecturers. I'm not very clear about that question. Same as EE or computing, because I saw CE is generated by both faculty. Chiaho Cow, I'm not very clear about your question. CDE and computing. What, maybe you can elaborate, what is that CE?
Maybe he is confused with the undergraduate computer engineering.
So undergraduate, I mean, I don't know whether if you are our own students, undergraduate computer engineering is a joint program offered by both School of Computing and Electrical Engineering Department. But Master of Computer Engineering is offered exclusively by the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Because it's a short program, it's more focused on computer engineering. Of course, undergraduate program is a bit broad. I mean, it's a 4-year study. You'll be studying a broad range of subjects. some are computer science, some are engineering aspects, etc. But Master of Computer Engineering is exclusively offered by only electrical and computer engineering department. May you know roughly how many students will be recruited for each intake? Maybe in 1 year, about could be from 150 to 200 students. I'm just telling, putting together. Okay, computer engineering program is new, but we have been offering for several years the MSc electrical engineering program. We expect similar numbers for computer engineering as well. What is the class size for each specialization? The class size depends on the demand for that module. We don't fix it, but there could be some subjects or modules, okay, which may have some limit on the class size like 40 or 50 or 60, because maybe because of the resources like if limited licenses are equipment, there may be limit. Otherwise, the class size depends on the demand for that particular subject. We are going to wrap up the session soon. As I understand, okay, there are other sessions starting from 5, if I'm not wrong. So some of you might be interested to join 5 o'clock session. So any other doubts or questions? You want quick clarification? Okay, even otherwise also you don't worry. Okay, so you can approach us. I mean, you can see the contact details from the website. You can approach us if you have any questions or doubts. We'll be happy to clarify. And as I said in the beginning, for January 2023 intake, the applications portal is going to be open in third week of July. So if you are interested, you can try submitting the application. There's a question on, does honor undergraduate degree last for 4 years from Singapore perspective? No, undergraduate degree is for 4 years in general. Not sure what context you are asking this. I understand some universities for some countries, they have 3-year programs, some have 4 years program, but we treat them as an undergraduate degree. Okay. Honors, when I say honors undergraduate means it's not tied up with 4 years or numbers. Honors means it ties up with the academic performance, the class, first class, second class, usually first class and second class. I mean, so there will be some honors classification explicitly, or even if it doesn't say honors, okay, at least your cap or the degree will tell whether it's a first class or second class, etc. For January 23 intake, the applications are open in July 24. Mune, am I correct? Diana, 24th July, is it?
It will begin on 25th July.
Of 25th July, okay.
Yeah, and end on 31st August.
Yeah.
For January intake, yes.
So 5 weeks. It's going to be open for 5 weeks. So last week of July and August. So our staff, Ms. Monet, has shared the web link at the chat, so you can look at that to know more about the application period. Is there any reference required for application? No. For Master of Science program, no reference letter is required. You need to submit your transcripts, degree, etc. There is no need for reference letters. So you can always visit our department website or the college website to know more about it. So please look at your chat message. Some links are shared, so you can go through that to get more details. Okay, participants, I think looks like there are no more questions. So thank you everyone once again to join this session. So on behalf of the management team of our department, I once again finally thank everyone. Okay. So if you're interested, you can submit your application starting from 25th July. Okay, bye, see you then. So you may want to leave this breakout room and join the main session so that you can attend other sessions. See you then.
Okay, see you. Thank you, Prof.
Okay, thanks everyone, bye.